Hey guys, it's Kelly and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to take a moment to talk about a very important misuse that I see a lot of families use in their car. It seems that everyone has power reclining seats on the mind due to the fatal accident involving a Tyler in the Hyundai Palisade. Now that is definitely a real fear, but there's another fear that a lot of families are not even realizing can happen with their power seats, and that's what today's video is all about. If this is your first time joining me, hey, I'm Kelly and I'm the car mom. I review cars for moms and for families. I'm a mom of 4 and I'm a certified child passenger safety tech. Let's get started. Okay, so let's start by talking about what a power reclining seat is. So again, you guys know how seats can fold flat to give you more trunk space, but a lot of the times in these newer cars, seats are also starting to recline. Now the good news about this Range Rover specifically is it's actually very easy to turn this feature off. You just come up to the driver's seat and you hit your child lock window, and it will not only lock their ability to roll on the windows, but also their ability to utilize the power seats. But unfortunately, many cars don't make it that easy, and in some cars, you can't even turn it off. I don't really understand the need for reclining seats in general, because if you check any owner's manual, it specifically says, do not drive with the seat reclined. Because when you recline your seat, it puts your seatbelt at a much more dangerous position. Now it is more on my stomach, which could cause harm in the event of a collision. It's not on my hip bones, and I run the risk of completely sliding out during a collision. And I know this sounds dramatic, but guys, this is a very real thing. I don't really know why these recline. Again, it's for comfort when the vehicle is parked. But the problem with these power seats is sometimes kids are back here playing with them, and when you recline a vehicle seat and you have a car seat installed, it can completely undo your tight installation. So for example, I've got this Graco Slim Fit 3LX installed here with the seatbelt. First of all, I love this car seat. It's honestly so easy to install. It's installed very tight right now. As you can see, it's not moving at all, even though I'm shaking it. But if I just accidentally recline this seat, even just a little bit, I didn't even do it all the way. Look what now it does to my installation. I recline it all the way. It's completely loose. I recline it back up. Now my installation's there again. So you have to be so careful. Imagine if a child hits that, you don't know, and now you're riding around in a seat like this. Almost every new car, it seems, has some sort of power reclining feature. And again, what's so crazy about this is other car reviewers and even some of the manufacturers are selling this as a feature. They're like, look how much more comfortable you'll be. Okay, like I said, take the car seats out of it, check any owner's manual. It says do not drive like that. Don't even get me started on some of the new minivans like the Kia Carnival and the Toyota Sienna. They are advertising this VIP lounge seating that has footrest and reclines, and the owner's manual literally says don't drive like that. These features are costing us money, they're making cars unaffordable, and they're putting all of us at risk, and I'm sick of it. Okay, so here I am in a completely different car. This is the Lexus RX 350, another one of my press cars that I have this week. And this car has the same thing, but the placement is a lot different. Instead, the power reclining, it's not on the door, but it's down here instead. Hit this button, and my seats will power recline. So this one I also think is a little stressful because if a kid hits that when they're climbing into the car or just puts their hand down here, can be dangerous. And the way that this Lexus works is it is like most cars, it's a 60-40 split. So you also have to realize that this middle seat and this outboard seat are connected, and then this seat is independent. So, if this person thinks they want to recline, but you have a car seat installed here, that will be bad news for everybody. Okay, so we've been playing around with the Lexus on how to get this one to lock. The window locks do not work, and I've been playing around in the navigation or in the the computer system for several minutes now, and I'm finding no luck. So I'm not saying it's not possible, but they're certainly not making it easy, and there's a good chance it might not be possible in this car, again, because it's a power seat. People think oh, why would I ever want to turn that off? And I'm like, because your kid might hit it. Okay, I'm gonna show you my personal car. It might be a little messy, so bear with me. But I drive a 2023 Ford Expedition Max, and it might have the worst placement of all times, specifically in the third row. So the second row is actually not power at all. So why in the world? Well, I guess I know why they made the third row power, because they need to make it power folding to get more trunk space. So I do understand that. But why in the world they let that one power recline? It's so annoying. So let me show you. It's on the side, in reach for children at literally any moment. So my 2 older kids back here are in boosters, but like I showed you earlier, boosters and passengers are also at risk for this because then it could really compromise their belt fit. And this is something that they could adjust while I'm driving. So you really, really have to watch out for these things back here. Okay, so you're probably wondering like, oh my gosh, Kelly, what am I supposed to do? Like my car has this. And here's some advice that I want to give you. I think now, number one, after this video, you are more aware of it. So like you're already safer than you were before you watch this video. Now you know there's something to watch out for. And the next step is to really have some serious conversations with your children. You know, we talk a lot about a child's maturity before they're allowed to sit in a different seating position or move up to a next car seat. And this is one of those components. People get so hyper fixated on their height and their weight. And as soon as they are at the minimum, they want to move them to the next phase or they want to max it out. But height and weight is only a piece of the puzzle. Maturity has so much to do with this. My kids who ride in my third row are almost 7 and 5.5. And we have conversations with them all the time about the importance of not touching those buttons. Now, of course, accidents can happen, but for my comfort level, I feel good with my 2 older kids riding back there. They know not to touch it. It's something I check regularly, but I would not feel good about putting my 3-year-old back there right now because I think he would touch it while we were driving. So you might have to rearrange your setup. You might have to put a kid back in a harness, and ultimately you just have to be aware of it and have a conversation with it. Another thing that we've done in the past, which I'm not saying this is going to work for all cars, but it could be worth trying out, is we actually duct taped a piece of cardboard over the button so that they couldn't hit it as easily. Honestly, that was pretty effective also. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to watching this very important video about power reclining seats. I'm proud of you for watching. You're keeping your kids safer, and I'll talk to you next time.